Okay, I want to be honest about something I don't hear many people talk about. The more I grow, the more I build, the more I step into rooms I only dreamed about, the louder this voice gets. It says something sneakier. Be careful. Don't do too much. Hey, smile more. Make them more comfortable. Soften that rough edge. And I realized something recently that no one ever told me before, that being successful can come with an invisible contract. You can have more, but only if you become less. Only if you stay palatable, easy to digest. A lot of high achieving women deal with the version of people pleasing when they begin to expand and grow. And today we are going to unpack that together. But here's the part that surprised me the most: the pressure to shrink yourself when you grow, it doesn't go away. In some ways, it actually gets stronger. So make sure you stick around to the end. I'm going to share 3 practical tools to help you stay grounded while you are growing and expanding so you don't lose yourself inside of it. Okay, so here's what I've noticed, and I want to see if you've seen it too. When a woman is quiet, agreeable, easy, the world calls her so graceful. She's so elegant. She's so easy to work with. But the moment she has an opinion, a boundary, a standard that inconveniences someone, suddenly she's difficult. She's becoming a lot right now. Yeah, she's changed. And here's the trap. The same ambition that helped you grow starts slowly whispering to you that you need to earn your place by shrinking. You start over-explaining your boundaries, laughing off disrespect because you don't want to be that girl. You edit yourself from rooms when you should actually be leading. Guys, I've done this. I've sat in conversations with a fully formed thought on my tongue and just swallowed it. Oh, and trust me, it wasn't because what I had to say wasn't valuable. It was because I sat there and calculated that their comfort in the room was more valuable than my own voice. And I'd always leave just feeling this heaviness, almost like I had to leave a part of myself at the door just to be accepted in those rooms. If you've ever felt that your voice is getting quieter the bigger the room gets, it might actually not be a confidence problem. Sometimes it's just an energy leak. Your attention is split between who you really are and who you think you need to be accepted into those spaces. That is actually one of the main reasons I created my clarity quiz. It helps you identify the season of growth you're in and where your energy might be leaking, so you can reclaim your voice instead of constantly editing it. If you're curious about the quiz, I'm gonna link it below, but for now, let's just keep going. Here's something no one really warns you about when you start to succeed. People pleasing never really leaves. It just starts to shape shift in a different way the more you succeed. When you're struggling, people pleasing looks like saying yes to everything. But when you're building something, when you have a platform, a business, a marriage, your voice, people pleasing can start to look like you performing in your own life. You curate the version of yourself that's inspiring, but not intimidating, ambitious, but not threatening, confident, but still palatable. And this is where something Toni Morrison wrote really clicked for me. She talks about internalizing the gaze. So that's basically you shaping your life based on how you think others are seeing you. So not on who you actually are, just on who you think people will accept. That version. And growth and expansion can exasperate and really show this pressure, because suddenly you're not just living your life, you're managing how your life is being interpreted. Your opinions get filtered, your boundaries are softened, and your voice is edited before it even leaves your mouth. And here's the scary part, y'all. You can become very successful at doing that. But success built on performance, it still feels like a cage. Okay, I want to get very real with you for a second. This is not just an emotional concept. This actually starts to show up in your body as well. So researcher and author Dr. Gabor Mate has studied this for decades. And one of the patterns he talks about the most is people who chronically suppress their own needs. So we're talking the nice ones, the ones who never say no. They actually end up having a higher rate of chronic illness, autoimmune conditions, burnout, exhaustion. Because when you don't advocate for yourself, your nervous system absorbs that impact. I need you to think about that for a moment. So every time you swallow a no for someone else's comfort, your body is the one taking the real hit. That tightness that you feel in your chest, that's not just stress. That's your authenticity trying to come back online. So the cost of palatability isn't just lost opportunities. It is your peace. It is your health. It is a life that would exist if you would just stop performing inside of it. Okay, so the real question is, how do we grow without losing ourselves in the process? How do you expand without becoming a performance? So for me, there are three practices that help me stay grounded when the pressure to become palatable begins to show up. So the first one is self definition practices. And I love this quote: if you don't define yourself, the world will do it for you. And I don't know if that was Audre Lorde or Carl Jung, but it's a great quote. So before I walk into meetings, certain conversations and spaces, or a big opportunity, I ask myself this one simple question: what am I sourcing right now? Am I sourcing love, courage, urgency, authenticity? Because the truth is, the way that we show up is shaped by the ways of being we choose to source. Okay, so a simpler way to ask this question is, who do I need to be in this moment? So think about, what qualities do you want to bring into the room that you're entering? So, for example, before I started shooting this video right now, I sat with myself for a second and asked, what am I sourcing? And I chose to source confidence, connection, love, and authenticity. And when you begin to get clear on the ways of being you're bringing into a moment, other people's interpretations of you begin to lose its power, because you're no longer reacting to the room. You are now leading with intention. So tool number two, tool number two is relationship reality checks. Growth, hands down, changes your relational dynamics. Some people will celebrate you as you grow and expand, and others will begin to quietly resist and resent. And girl, that is absolutely okay. And it doesn't even mean that they're bad people. Sometimes what that really means is they were just comfortable with the version of you that took up less space. So you need to ask yourself a very important question: who supports my growth? And who only supports the version of you that wants you to stay small? That level of clarity alone will save you so much emotional confusion. So, this is something that me and Bernard actually talk about often, which is why I came up with a little tool to support you. It is called the Aligned Love Check In. It's a simple reflection that we use to stay connected and to help us support each other's growth instead of unconsciously resisting it. So, if that is something that you'd love to explore in your own relationship, I linked it in the description. Okay, let's keep going. Okay, tool number three: leadership and boundaries. Peanut butter and jelly, basically. So, the bigger your life becomes, the more you grow, the more people will just expect access, more opinions, more availability, more emotional labor. And for you, boundaries have to stop being optional. So, leadership sounds like, I appreciate this opportunity, but it's just not aligned. I hear you, but I see this differently. You know what? I just need some time before I actually respond to that. And every time that you honor one of your boundaries, you remind your nervous system that your voice is safe. So if you're in a season of a leveling up and the pressure to become palatable is louder than ever, I want you to hear me clearly. Expansion that requires you to abandon yourself is not growth. It's a performance. And you did not come this far to perform in your own life. You came to live it and live it fully. Maybe loudly, maybe even gently, but whatever it is, you're going to do it on your own terms. So, quick question for you now. When you feel the pressure to become palatable, do you A, shrink, or B, push back? Quickly, just drop it in the comments: A or B, shrink or push back. If this resonated with you, drop a comment below, especially if you've ever felt the pressure to shrink as you've grown. I'd love to hear about it. And if you're curious about what season of growth you're actually in, rooting, expanding, sustaining, recalibrating, I created a free clarity quiz that will show you exactly where you are. I linked it in the description. So now that you know why high achieving women feel the pressure to be palatable, you might want to ask yourself, well, how do I now get the courage to take the risks that are truly meant for me? You can start by watching this video right here, because when you put what you just learned right now with this video, that is the real secret sauce. I will see you in the next one.